All right. Bobby, you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Man, I thought that was good practice. Competitive, some situational work. I think getting back here in the AC a little bit got him a little juice back. So start cutting back a little bit and getting ready for the game.
Obviously, Tyron made the plays today, but how do you feel like the process of the safeties coming together, forming chemistry, and that has gone on throughout camp?
Yeah, I think it's still a work in progress, but I think it's been improving. Tyron made a couple of really nice plays today, and so that was good to see. I think he's kind of beginning to get a little more comfortable in what we're doing and what we're asking him to do. I've seen improvement out of Marcus May throughout camp, so I feel good about where that position is. I think we've got a lot of depth in that position.
Dennis, you think we'll have any opportunities to see Rashid Shaheed in the return game come Friday?
I don't know that. I think we just kind of wait and see. We'll probably, have those discussions Wednesday evening, before we start getting ready for the Chargers.
It seems like approaches to preseason games have evolved over the years. Is it acceptable now for a starter to go into the season opener at any position without having played it down in the preseason?
Yeah, look, I mean, it happens. We'll see how we play it out, on Friday night. We've gotten a lot of good work in training camp, so I'm pretty pleased with where we're at to this point. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, everybody's got different philosophies on preseason, but look, I think getting in a game environment is good for everybody, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we'll do.
I saw Jameis tuck it up and run a couple of times today. Is that a sign where he feels he is mentally going in where he's comfortable?
Yeah, look, I mean, you'd have to ask him, exactly where he's at, but I feel, I thought today he looked really good. So in terms of, is it a sign where he feels he's at? I don't know that. I do know that it was encouraging to me to see that.
Was today Marcus Davenport's first full team work?
Yeah, I think today was the first day he actually, did team drills.
Has he been kind of progressing where you want him to be?
Yeah, I mean, look, where I wanted him to be. I mean, certainly I'd love for him to be taking all the reps. But yeah, he's making progress. And so I feel like it's a step in the right direction. We still got a little ways before we open up the season, so there's still some time to kind of get him ready. But that was good to, get him into a couple of team drills today.
You kind of talked about Caden Ellis a couple times throughout camp. Just you guys made some strides. See somebody who can kind of help you both as a rusher, as kind of traditional linebacker.
Yeah, yes. The answer is yes. He's got some pass rush value, and so we utilized him a couple of times last year in a couple of pass rush situations. That's something that I think he does pretty well. I think he's got really strong hands on the edge to set the edge as a Sam linebacker. So I think he's improved, and I think there's going to be a role for him to help us in a few different areas.
Is some of that improvement also been more of the off-the-ball stuff coverage as well?
Yeah. Look, I think he kind of established himself last year as fully capable of being the on-the-ball Sam linebacker for us, and I think he's making some progress in terms of solidifying himself as a viable option for us as an off-the-ball backer.
Obviously, Jarvis Landry kind of grasped this offense since day one, so now, of course, finishing off that 2 minutes.
Yeah, look, I think he's getting more comfortable. He's actually played a lot of different positions, and so I think he would probably even tell you that he's still got a little meat left on the bone in terms of really totally understanding the offense. But I've seen a lot of improvement, and in the last couple of days I've seen him make some pretty good catches for touchdowns. So that's been encouraging to see.
Taysom being back today after missing the last couple of days, what did you see out of him today? And how have you kind of seen him adjust to the tight end position after the last couple
I think he's done a nice job. The unfortunate thing for him is that he's missed a lot of time with injury throughout this training camp, and so I don't know if he's exactly where we want him to be right now, but yet he's still going to keep progressing. He's functioning in roles that he's been used to doing. He's just spent more time in the tight end room, kind of understanding a few of the intricacies of playing that position. So, I think he was just basically, walk through an individual today. So, hopefully we'll be able to continue to progress him.
Are some of the injuries on the offensive line just the sheer number? Like, is that a concern? Does it affect anything you guys do at practice, just in terms of how many offenses you can line up? Or?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, certainly. You got to pay attention to the numbers that you have available at each position, and it happens, periodically through training camp. At one point we were a little short on DBs, and so we had to go out and sign a few DBs. We got a few nicks and bruises and stuff like that on the offensive line that we're kind of working through. So yeah, it affects you in terms of how many, how you do your rep count. But we're kind of at that point in training camp where, there's a little bit more ones and twos getting work in these practices.
What are the attributes that you like about Pete Carmichael as a coach?
Well, number one, he's highly intelligent, and so he has a big picture view of the game, and specifically the offense. So I think he's a good teacher and communicates well with the players. And I think those are important things. I like his calm demeanor, because he doesn't get rattled by a lot of things, and so it's a good quality to have.
Coach, now that we're through a couple of weeks of practices here, what would you highlight so far about Cody Burns and his contributions to the wide receiver?
Look, I think he's a I don't want to say young coach, but he's a young coach in terms of our league. He's a rookie in our league. I think he's a really good teacher. I think he does a really good job with techniques and fundamentals. And look, you see his players come out here and make plays. I mean, I've already seen, we just talked about Jarvis, and then, I've seen Chris Olave take some strides forward. So, I think he's helping a lot of those guys.
Can you touch on Marquez Callaway and just what you've seen from him throughout camp and where he's at right now?
Yeah, just a consistent player. He's kind of the player that we've seen over the last couple of years. He's real consistent. He's smart. He can line up in a bunch of different spots. He's got some return value for us, and has special teams value. So I like where he's at.
With Olave, I don't know if you remember, he found a soft spot between Matthew and Adebo in the right flat and caught a pass along the sideline from Winston.
In the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does a play like that, is it indicative of how close a rookie, high draft pick could be to getting right away? Or is that just one good play and you don't want to read too much into it?
Well, if it was just one play, I'd say, well, that was just one play, and I don't want to read too much into it. But, I certainly think that he's going to be a contributor to our football team. And I've seen some of those plays specifically over the last, call it week to 10 days. And so I thought, you know, I said this before. I thought he took a step forward in Green Bay. It was a nice play he made today. So I think he's getting more comfortable in what we're doing. But you know, let's don't put him in the Hall of Fame yet. Let's make sure he realizes he's still a rookie and got a long way to go.
There's some technical route running that goes into executing a play like that, right? That's a good sign. Or
Yeah, and look. I mean, that was one of the things that we felt like, we liked about him coming out was just his ability to run a route and transition at the top. So, so it's good to see.
We saw Andy come off the field in that last drill. Was there anything going on there? Was it?
He got stepped on, but I think he's going to be fine. All good? All right, thanks.
Follow-up question.
How y'all doing?
So how do you feel about your performances here, particularly over the course of the past couple of weeks? We've certainly seen some flashes from you in games as well as throughout your practice.
I feel like I'm playing good ball right now, other than the one play against Green Bay. Just a stupid mistake by me and not one play, but other than that, I feel like I'm playing good ball. I'm in a good mental state, catching a good rhythm right now playing, and just having fun out there.
What are some of the things you're hoping to accomplish this season? Stepping more into the role, you have your personal goals that you're trying to set?
Every year, I set personal goals. One of my personal goals is to go out there and play all 17 games this year, and just being, being available this year. With the injuries and things like that. Really, things you can't control, but things you can help out. Extra work and stretch and things like that. Just being available. And just going out there playing hard, and, like they say, you play hard, the results take care of itself, everything take care of itself at the end of the day. And I just going out there playing hard every time I'm out there.
Has there been any sort of specific element of your game that you've been focusing on over the course of this offseason?
The biggest thing I focus on was my eyes. Seeing a lot but not seeing too much, if you understand what I'm saying, seeing my target, things like that. And that's really helped me slow the game down, and just being able to go out there and, strike my target and, help me defeat blocks easier, things like that. So just focusing on my eyes and, my hand placement, things like that, the little things has helped me out a long way.
When you were seeing too much, what was some of the information that maybe you needed to cut down on so that you could do your job a little bit quicker?
Just locking in, understanding that things are moving at a different pace in this league compared to the pace you've been playing at. And just, learning that over time, the more reps you get, the more, more fuel you get for the game, it slows down. So I'm able to lock in and, speed things up with my body, but slow it down in my mind, things like that. And I'm able to, able to actually see the blocker coming at me, his angle departure, things like that, and where he's coming from, where the blocker's coming from, the guard or the center, things like that. So I'm able to, see that better. So once I'm able to see it, but I'm able to react to it faster, get my feet in the ground and get my hands on the block and work a move, things like that.
How physically demanding is it, especially at your position to play every single game?
It's just the world I live in, I guess. I'm kind of used to it now, body hurting and things like that. But, playing nose guard is not an easy position. And it's a position that don't get a lot of love, I know that. But it's a position I love to play. When guys look at you like, man, how you do it? I take a sense of pride in that because it's like they basically looking like this dude a warrior. He able to go out there every play, take on double teams, triple teams, and, still able to go out there and make plays. And I just walk around with a sense of pride, knowing that I'm the one that's able to do it and things like that. But it's also the older I get, I learn how to take care of my body. Little nicks and things that I used to get my rookie year, I just can't come back from the same. And, got to put in extra time in the treatment room and extra time, recovery, things like that. So as I'm learning how to take care of my body more so I could be more available.
Did you go to Cam Jordan for advice on that at all, since he's only missed one game?
Yeah. Well, Cam gonna say he built different. So that's all he said. He said, I'm built different. But I talked to him a lot. He said he really took him to about his 8th year to where he really started understanding, the importance of, taking care of your body, getting massages, things you put in, things you eat, everything like that. And then he just told me, get your rest. That's really one thing I started taking a lot of pride in, getting my sleep at night. Like I was talking to one of the guys today, I was talking to Jordan today, I said, man, I learned how to go home and go to sleep. I learned how to go home and watch TV, things like that. Don't be, going places, things like that. Just go home, chill, get ready to come back to work in the morning. And that comes with just growing up and getting older, I guess I have to say. So that's things I learned.
Does Cam ever chill? Cam doesn't chill, though.
Y'all think Cam don't chill. Cam be chilling. He be chilling. Everybody, he be showing us sometimes.
Coach Nielsen told us not too long ago that there's no necessarily depth chart when it comes to the defensive line. How meaningful is that for you and the other players in that room to What does that mean to you guys?
It means it's free game. You know, at the end of the day, we love each other, but at the end of the day, we also understand the nature of the business that we're in. It's a business, a cutthroat business, I want to say, you know, very demanding business. But when he says no depth chart, that's basically just saying, you know, you got to go out there and play and let the results take care of itself at the end. And, you know, I just know if I go out there and give it my all at the end of the day, the results going to take care of itself. But I know it's off my chest that I gave everything I had to give. It's off my conscience when I go home and I can sleep good at night to know I gave everything I had, and sometimes you just don't control everything. You know.
Okay, thanks.
That's good?
Thanks,
All right, y'all.
thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning. Still morning? Good morning. Thank you.
You and Jameis have a hell of a handshake after stretch.
Uh-huh.
How did that come about?
No idea. It's just something we just did. We looked at each other, one slap and a hug. And he said, let's be great. And I said, let's have a day. And then we go out there and have practice.
How have you seen him work back from injury, Jameis Winston, and coming off the foot injury and the knee injury? How have you seen him just progress back to team throws?
Just resilient, you know. You know, if y'all know Jameis, I'm sure y'all do. Jameis is a worker, whether it's on the field, staying after practice, or it's in the training room. After he showered, he's in the training room right now. He wants to be out there. You can see it. He shows it. You can see it from us. It hurts when he's not out there, but some way, somehow, he's making an impact, whether it's in the film, meeting with us, meeting with his quarterbacks, or in the training room or weight room. But you can definitely tell he hates being out, and you can see that he's doing his best to get back.
Is your punting thing, is that like the thing now?
No, it wasn't. Well, it is, but it wasn't. So this how that happened. This how this started. As y'all know, we didn't have a lot of receivers running today. So they told us before, they said we got to bring the juice, we got to have energy, because yesterday we was kind of sluggish. So today we tried to come out with a little bit more energy. And it was like, I don't care if you catch a slant or a shallow, you spike the ball or something. And I said, you know what? I'm punting it. So every time I caught it, I punted it. Riz said it was a terrible punt, so I got to show him my skills just in case.
You gonna do it in the game too?
Absolutely not. I feel like I'd be like Brucey.
How have you seen Paulson Adebo just grow from one camp to this, year one to year two, and just what's some of the stuff that stands out to you about going up against him?
You can definitely tell he knows his stuff, whether it's, I don't know what they talk about on the defense side. Well, not really, but you can definitely tell going against him, he knows his stuff. He knows, I feel like he's getting kind of like a Marshawn vibe. He knows based on our splits, he knows what we're going to run. He knows based on our alignment, what we can and can't do on that. And going against him, you could definitely, from last year to this year, you definitely tell he's a lot stronger, a lot faster, and a lot smarter.
When you say Marshawn vibe, is his intelligence on the field as good as the athletic ability? Is that kind of what makes him special, is that he has both ends?
Right, I agree. Going against him and Marshawn, you definitely tell they're both special players. And I'm glad they're on our team other than someone else's.
With Jarvis's catch at the end of 2 minutes there, what was it like seeing that, and just what have you seen from him this entire training camp as he's adjusted to this offense?
Happy because that was the end of the 2-minute drive. We could have called it off right then, but Jarvis, he's done that all camp, all OTAs, so not surprised. we told him after we got to our little receiver group, he said, you know, the standard's already been set. He already shown what he can and what he can't do. Based off his history and what he's done here, everybody knows the type of player he is. So, again, happy he's on our team. Happy he's showing and telling us all what he knows, whether it's football or off the field type stuff. Just somebody that you need in your locker room.
What's the biggest thing that you have learned from him so far?
Just every time I come a route, you know, ask him, yo, just critiquing stuff, you know, like how I did Mike when I first got here. After a route, I asked him, yo, what did you see on this one? If it was you, how would you run it? Just things like that.
Similarly, DA was just talking about Cody Burns being a teacher. What's one of the biggest things? I'm sure that there's a lot for you to pick from, but what's one of the biggest things that you can pick from at this moment that you have learned from
Well, other than all the football stuff, outside of football, he taught us. Well, he told us, he got us all. Each day, it was a different player, person. We got up and just talked about us. You know, talked about where we came from. Basically, like our life journey, how we got here, all the adversity we went through. Just tell your story. So I think he wanted us to realize that if we know each other, rather than coming out, you know, coming out on the field, just somebody we come to work with, you know, we're with each other all day, so get to know the person instead of the player. So I think that was the biggest thing. That was one of the best things I liked about what he did since he's gotten here.
Have you noticed a difference with that? I mean, bringing you all closer in that way personally, do you notice a difference now out on the field?
I agree. All of us, I feel like we all, now that we know what we've been through and everything that's happened to us, I think it has brought us a lot closer. Only thing I'm mad, he hasn't gone yet. So it's been about 2 weeks since we did it. So get on his ass.
Where are you as a blocker now?
Hey, Trip, hold on one second. When you do your thumb like that, it kills the audio.
Oh, my bad. Nervous.
Where do you think you're at as a blocker now in your third year? And when you say you pick the brains of other guys, is Traquan sort of the standard to get tips on that?
Traquan be putting his head in a lot of places. Like I know that sounds bad. I'm sorry, but just watching film, you know, you see all the dirty work he does, and I don't think it gets appreciated enough. I know we tell him, like, we see it and all. Hey, Kurt, autonomous. I know we see it a lot, and I just feel like what he does and all the stuff that we ask him to do, I don't think it gets recognized enough. And being the way he is just who he is, you know. So being able to watch him do it, I mean, it's just willpower and wanting to do it. So whether we can go in there and make a good block to screen one of our backs or one of our guys free, I mean, that goes on all of us. So.
And where do you think, how much of your game has that become a part?
I'm like Trey, I don't care. I'll run in there, linebacker, lineman, safety, don't matter. It actually got a little more fun to me coming, now that I'm kind of third year in. Now I see how, watching film and seeing how a lot of people play, you know, it just, the more film you watch, the easier it'll be. And I think that helps a lot.
What are your thoughts on Kirk Merritt's transition to running back?
Oh, man, they took him. Man, I told you we was down receivers, and they took him for us. But other than that, you know, Kurt's a player. He's going to play wherever he wants to play. When we did our little talking, we played our high school highlights. And if y'all don't know, Kurt was a running back in high school. So when we moved him to running back, we was like, oh, we shouldn't have showed the highlights, because now they know. But nah, like I said, Kurt's a player. He's gonna play wherever he's want to play, and I feel like he's in a new room. He has a lot of people he can learn from, especially in our room.
When the high school highlights thing, was that a team-wide thing, or was that another wide receiver?
That's us, the receivers. That's our thing. Thank you. Happy birthday, Taysom.